know my haters, you could say I'm constipated. 5 racks on his fit, just to stunt while I'm in Vegas. On my body, shout out to my Caleb Young. Got the cake up, now he's wanna date us. I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for no. I ain't talking to no cop and I ain't telling on my bros. Ain't no but don't push me, fingers itching on that. Plotting on my come up, gotta watch stay at my nose. Long nights just to hit the studio. Now I'm eating steak and shrimp, I ain't eating sloppy Joe. Looking to the mirror, flexing now and in his glow. Bust off like a welcome to the rodeo.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, Big Ben Roethlisberger, and the Pittsburgh Steelers face off with Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. A few minutes prior to us coming on air, this crowd was jolted into action with the introduction of these Jaguars. They're set for football as the Jags are ready to match up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They come in riding high, just 1 loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They'll be led out by their quarterback from Central Florida. It's Blake Bortles.
We both know it's a league where they seemingly throw the ball in just about every play. But watching him perform last week where he threw 3 touchdown passes still caught my eye in a big way.
Still kind of the gold standard, 3 touchdown passes, isn't it? And for his efforts last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I can't wait to see what he does this week.
Now a first carry for TJ Yeldon. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Bortles throwing on 2nd down. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And now a look at the offense for Jacksonville.
Leonard Fournette commands a lot of attention, not just because he was the first 1,000-yard running back for Jacksonville since Maurice Jones-Drew in 2011. It's because of his ability to hit the hole fast, to knock people over when he's carrying the football, and to run away from people when he gets to the open field. He actually has changed the identity of the Jacksonville offense. I'm looking forward to watching him for years to come.
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. Kind of surprised they accept the penalty.
The only thing that comes to mind for me is they want to move them back 5 yards because they feel good about their defense. But in most situations, you take the down. That's what counts more.
On 3rd and long, it's Bortles. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
So on fourth down, as seen on TV, here's their resident strongman, John Ryan, on to punt. And take it right on the 30. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They're led onto the field by a man who needs no introduction, Ben Roethlisberger.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 44. Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a first down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
There for the tackle, Blair Brown. And let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
A big reason this team led the league in offense, their offensive line. Monster strength. 3 Pro Bowlers last year in Alejandro Villanueva, David DeCastro, and Marquise Pouncey. Kept their quarterbacks upright to throw it downfield and carved a lot of holes for their runners.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. The numbers for Bell on the ground in the game last week. 8 carries, 58 yards.
Yeah, he could very well be on his way to a rushing title, but guess what? His offensive line, they're meeting separately because they want that rushing title as much as he does, and they want to make sure they get him there. Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Roethlisberger with a give to Bell. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Off the play fake. Here's Roethlisberger. And it'll be intercepted. Bruce Carter with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they'll throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23. Now a look at the defensive starters here for the Steelers. They were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
The best defenses I know, they draw lines in the sand and say you're not going to cross that. For most of them, it's 100 yards of total offense. They didn't quite accomplish that, but still a pretty darn good game last week. Just over 100 yards of total offense given up.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Bortles to throw on 2nd down. And a catch made here by Marquise Lee. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Fournette, a first down carry. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line. The rushing numbers for Fournette from last week: 13 carries, 64 yards.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on it. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
A fake to Fournette. Now it's Bortles to throw. Now he's hit, and Bortles fumbled. It's loose, and it looks like Steeler football. It is. A defensive-minded coach loves to bring the heat, brought the heat there, and it worked out.
And nowadays, all those defensive-minded coaches, for them, it's all about getting the football. I went into one facility, and as soon as you walked into the defensive room, there was a football, like on a spring, and each guy that walks in that plays has to act like he's knocking the ball free. They want those instincts created. They want them to think about that all the time, and that's what they try to preach.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And down inside the 15 he goes. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
So a turnover-filled first quarter of play comes to an end. 0-0 our score. More from Jacksonville after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. And a look at Bell, who remains down after that play. Appears to have gotten shaken up. We'll check on his status when we get back. To throw here, Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Yannick Ngakoue in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
That I'm struggling to understand a little bit. That close to the goal line, first down, run the football. If you want to throw it, throw some play action on second down.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Now Definitely be a disappointment to come out of this starting position with just 3 points. They need to try to dial something up now, 3rd and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Washington, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6.
This is similar to baseball where you walk the leadoff hitter and you don't expect him to come around and score. Almost impossible. Anytime a defense has to defend a short field, you usually end up seeing the result we saw, giving up points.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. Extra point put through by Boswell. And it's now a 7-0 game. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. On 2nd down, here's Bortles. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. These two teams had not one but 2 memorable encounters a year ago. Their first one was Week 5. That's when Ben Roethlisberger threw a handful of interceptions. Jacksonville won big. And then, of course, the Jags, Charles, they doubled down in the playoffs.
Yeah, they beat Pittsburgh again in Pittsburgh, 45-42 to advance to their 3rd AFC Championship game in franchise history. I like what you did there. A handful. 5 interceptions by Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, he struggled in that first outing. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar and some discomfort down there on the field. Here's John Ryan now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. It's taken to the 26. Nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. Here we go. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Roethlisberger. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That goes for a gain of 31.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on first down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Telvin Smith, able to get a hand on it there.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
Not only did they drop, it looked like an interception in the end zone. They blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Then to throw again. Escaping the pressure right. He completes it to Hunter. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. They're going to run. Here's Connor going absolutely nowhere. He'll wind up losing a yard or 2. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop them short of the marker.
Oh, someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Two minutes to play here in the first half. Back with more from Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Throwing on first down is Bortles. Lee's got it over the middle. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Now the Jags are moving quickly in the hurry-up. Bortles now to throw. His throw incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things.
380. 380.
They'll try to run for it with Yeldon. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. On first down, Bortles. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw, trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
380. 380.
Bortles gives to Yeldon on the draw. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Now Bortles. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side.
That's certainly one way to beat the blitz. Get it out of your hands quickly. Get it to the big fella.
Very effective. Saw the pressure, got rid of it, and the completion ensued. Here's John Ryan now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Dancing to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep. It got his man complete. The 20. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. James Washington, 94 yards. And the Steelers get the quick strike touchdown. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Boswell for the extra point. Boswell good with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes Blake Bortles now to lead his offense back out there. I think this crowd not really sure what to make of things. Their guys have not looked very good. Their leader here at the top, he hasn't looked that great either.
And most of the time you hear guys talk about how they don't let the crowd affect them or they block it off. Well, that's not really fully true, because a lot of the times you ride the wave of emotion with the crowd when it's positive for you. In this case, they've got to find a way to shake it off and at least get something done to maybe put the crowd back on their side.
Absolutely. Give these guys something to cheer about. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. From the gun, it's Bortles. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Cole. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. On 1st and 10, here's Bortles. And complete over the middle, Safarian Jenkins. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Working from the gun, it's Bortles. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Marquise Lee, the intended target, and it's 3rd and short.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Bortles to throw on 3rd and 1. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now, just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Here's John Ryan now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. James Washington making his way back out towards the huddle. And CD, assuming he stays healthy, assuming the health, should get to that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily.
And the best part of what he's done so far is it allows him and the team to relax their pursuit a little bit. Meaning, if they just have normal games, they'll get to the 1,000-yard mark. They don't have to force anything. But one of the reasons he's having the year he's having is what I call route running arrogance. They think there's no one that can cover them. No matter how many people are put in his direction, it just doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat them. And so far this year, he's done exactly that.
He sure has. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
Let's go, let's go.
A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. Now he'll throw deep left side. And that's caught at the 25. And he'll get this way down into Jacksonville territory. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up in the Pacific Northwest at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Russell Wilson leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. From there, we head east to Baltimore to check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Lamar Jackson leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. And finally, on Cyber Monday, put away the credit card and join Monday Night Football as the Titans pay a visit to their former home in Houston. In the game you've been watching, it was Ben Roethlisberger who led the way offensively in the first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. James Washington making his way back out towards the huddle. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Here we go.
They go play action now. Roethlisberger. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
On third down, it's Connor. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance, but in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
Right back to him on first down. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here's a former 1,000-yard rusher at Stephen Ridley. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Roethlisberger will hand the counter. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Let's go now.
Now they'll throw it with Roethlisberger. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Miles Jack coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. A very valuable 9-yard pickup, and now they're set up a little better here for 3rd and goal. This is kind of one of those in-between plays here, Charles, on 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3 in that area. What do you dial up?
Something quick hitting. You don't have the time for something that develops slowly. It's got to be right at them if you're going to run the football. And if you're going to throw it, something quick, get it out of your hands in a hurry.
Steelers on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
Can this defense hold them out? Here we go now. 4th and goal from the 2. They'll try to run it. This is Connor. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Extra point now by Boswell. Extra point put through by Boswell. And that makes the score 21-0. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Hey. You got 3. You got 3. 3 down.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Hey, 4 down. 380.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Yeldon. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
380.
Bortles now on 1st down. And his throw here's incomplete. T.J. Yeldon, the one he was looking for. And now it's 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
380.
Bortles will try again on 2nd down. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Bortles to Cole for the Jacksonville first. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter.
380.
Bortles. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. D.D. Westbrook, his intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down. Now Bortles again. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Green 80.
Throwing his Bortles on third down. Broken tackle, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down.
Green 80.
They'll go with a big back. Yeldon going absolutely nowhere. He'll wind up losing a yard or two. The Jags come up empty on fourth down. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. So certainly not the way that they were hoping that possession would end, failing to convert on fourth.
And now they've got to make sure that they keep their poise, they keep their confidence. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean if they get that same situation later that they shouldn't go for it again. The defense feels great, but the offense, they can't be despondent.
First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
Deshaun Gibson there on the tackle.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Here we go.
Connor. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a third and about 5.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On third down, it's Connor. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Here's Connor. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. A Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up second and 5. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Now it's Connor. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
On 3rd down, that's Connor, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it is 28-0. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 20, 10, touchdown, Jaguars. Austin Safarian-Jenkins, 77 yards. And the Jaguars get a score closer. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Josh Lambo now for the point after. Point after by Lambo, up and good. And it's now a 28-7 ball game. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And this doesn't work. The Steelers recover it. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They run with Connor. And he's got this down to the 35. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Here we go.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's got to run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He had to run them into submission.
Wave the white flag. And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, he'll force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. And they won't run a play here, no victory formation. They will indeed try to get 3 more. And they're going to fake it. He wants to throw it here. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. Well, I see what they were trying to do there. You pop up your holder, roll them out. You got the option to run or pass. Just didn't work.
Not at all. And the communication was excellent defensively to make sure that receivers were covered as they escaped from the line of scrimmage, because that's supposed to be a surprise to everyone, and that's how they get free. People forget their assignments on defense. That didn't happen. And think about the guy rolling out with the football, looking for an open person, no one there.
Helpless feeling.
Helpless, because that gap between you and defenders now is going to close, and close quickly.
Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is, because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with 1 in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for Pittsburgh, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Mile High to take on the Broncos. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. I'm Brandon Gaudin.
I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for.
You have an injury from the last game. See how long they'll be out.
But don't push me, fingers itching on that. Plotting on my come up, gotta watch, stay at my nose.